This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Kelly's Home Center, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, NRG Nutrition, Prince Masters, Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited, and Tropical Gyros.
The largest, the biggest, the largest. 30K on my riches for hard times. These just mad cause they in my archives. Jordan came back to the 4-5. If you play then you lay right there by your own kind. Pull up a 4 with a loco. Tell them runners be back like so-so. Got this rap here in the chokehold. Did a show out in Austin. Shout out to Bobo. Moved out the trenches, now look how we live. Tell my BM to furnish the crib. Walk out the mall with some shoes for the kids. Deposit the checks from my bank full of M's. Paid up my rent, now I'm up for the year. The view look crazy from here. What I paid for some dogs could've bought me veneers. Texas piece on my neck could've bought your career. Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Stuffing Cali blood weed in the blunt. Let my little brother roll in my Dutch. My little boy get whatever he want. Madam T don't be asking for much. Pouring lean on the nuggets and runch. Spill the rest of that drink in a punch. Left wrist on some my head stunt. Right rich, I just did it because 600 the labor, you know how we coming. Tell them they ain't taking nothing. Standing on business, we shooting the punching. Hey man, go get you some money. I just got off a tour, finna go on another one. Album done, finna drop me another one. Couple M's, finna run up another one. Super Bowl ring, still had to go double. Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Hey.
You got it locked and loaded to the Wednesday, November 19th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with Mary Jane in your company right up until 6 p.m. And we do have a very special guest. We'll be getting to him in short order. All I got to do is let you know the particulars. We're going to open up the lines. We're going to have a good show. We're going to have a good conversation as always. MJ?
Hey.
Ready to go?
I am ready to. I'm going to be fangirling just a little bit because I kind of really love this person that we have as a guest. But then I remembered that he was a part of that team that beat my Spurs so many times. So, like, I'm kind of, you know, like in the middle right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. He's good people. Good people. I could vouch for him.
Okay, good.
You got to forgive him for that.
Yes, okay.
Because while that upset you very much, that allowed me to talk mucho smack. So it's not changing. It's not changing.
He helped facilitate you talking a lot of smack to me back in the day, but that's all right.
There you go. But I sometimes just remember, let him know, I went to the sofa even though we won sometimes. Just because I love you, I said, okay, I can go on the sofa.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to open my mouth and get slapped anyway, so cheap I saved myself. But if you do want to chime in today, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the family islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969, BTC Flow channel 612. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it off for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. All right, here we go. As promised, I told you a couple weeks ago, last week, when people was all beating up their gum, well, why Rick Fox talking about politics? Who is Rick Fox? And I told you, I know Rick Fox. Rick Fox just as behaving or more behaving than some of y'all who beating up your gum. But like I told you, I won't just talk about it. I'll be about it. So without further ado, one of the finest Bahamians I know. Yes, because he played and won championships for the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, because he went to North Carolina. Yes, because he's good people. Yes, because he come from Johnson Road. And yes, unlike a lot of people who make it off in the world and come back home, unlike them, he wants to be a voice and he wants to give back. So my platform is definitely his platform. My good friend, long time no see, but glad to see him. Still want to know where this fountain of youth is you drinking out of, my brother.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Fox, welcome to Talking Heads. Rick, good to see you.
It's amazing to be here with you. It's good to see you both. I want to get into some of this rivalry I'm hearing.
Boy, yes.
Oh, my God.
That's obviously been going on for a long time
For
in the
20,
house.
20-something years.
But also,
now.
I want to hear about this 14-year-old you guys have.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's the next wave, the next
wave.
generation.
We'll talk about all of that, but
Yes.
obviously we're glad to see you here, glad to have you back home. And first of all, I think it's important, like in most Bahamian circles, people like to know about who you is. So in case you didn't know who Rick Fox is, let me remind you. This young man grew up in Johnson Road. That's how I come to know Rick Fox. Under a basketball rim with the Moscow brothers and Stevie Aubrey and the Cartwright kids from around the corner, and we battling it out.
McSweeney's, yep.
Yeah, McSweeney John too,
Yeah,
for
John,
real.
yeah, Mary
And
Ann.
it wasn't that, okay, this long, tall drink of water blocking everybody's shot. It was how you going to score over Ricky, and Ricky was looking at how all these dudes trying to hatchet me up and pick my pocket. And before you know it, man, I saw, okay, he's off to Indiana, to high school. And then when I saw, okay, he made the transition to North Carolina, it made great sense because he didn't just go to Indiana and play ball. He went to Indiana and played ball. And that's not an easy state to play basketball in the United States, because in Indiana, they don't have no life. All they do is play basketball and worship the rookie card of Larry Bird. That's all they do. That's all they can do. And Rick immersed himself there, ended up in North Carolina. Then from North Carolina, first round pick of the Boston Celtics. From the Celtics, went to the Lakers, and you know the rest is history. And obviously, you know, it speaks to who he is as a Bahamian, because only a Bahamian could fit in and tell Shaq and Kobe, you all two hold your head, we need to win a championship. Okay? So that's how I know Rick Fox. And I could tell you Rick Fox, more Bahamian than some. His late father, Rick Fox, his mom was from Canada. And just like many of us have Bahamian parentage and foreign parentage. Sometimes it's your mom, sometimes it's your dad. But that don't make you any less Bahamian than anybody else. Especially when you bleed turquoise, gold, and black. I mean, when you take it to the world and you represent, you can't be no more Bahamian than that. So at the end of the day, like I say, I think it's important that folks know who Rick Fox is, and we find out what you're doing, what you've been doing, and what you want to do. And I don't really like to hear these talks like he ain't Bahamian. He ain't Bahamian just as much as me and you. So, Mr. Bahamian brother, my good friend.
Yes, thank you. It's sometimes when you hear your life kind of run back like that.
Yeah.
That journey.
But I told no lies. You see? That's the whole thing.
You spoke the truth, and in those days, growing up here at home and being up on Johnson Road and Mackey Street with my grandparents and Stapleton Gardens when we first came, and Farrington Road.
There you go.
But, you know, these are residents that I grew up in, and a lot of people, you know, I hear a lot of people have this impression that somehow I had a residence or I have a home in Canada or that I live in Canada or that I somehow spend my days there since I've been out and about in the world working, right? I've never one day had a residence, a house, or lived in Canada.
Wow.
Well, welcome back home.
Let me say that. You need to hear that again, okay? So this perception that's
Right.
where I've been.
Right.
Where I've been, as you just said, was in Indiana in high school for opportunity, in college at North Carolina getting an education. Those two things aren't foreign to what some of
Plenty
Bahamians have done.
Right.
My model and blueprint was Michael Thompson. He went off to Miami, went to high school, then he went to Minnesota for college, and then he got drafted into the NBA. If it wasn't for Michael Thompson, who lived in Blair Estates, right around the corner from Johnson Road, where I used to drive my bike and be inspired that a Bahamian was doing big things. Okay? That's where I got that idea from, that it was possible. So thank you, Michael. I say it all the time, everywhere I go. Michael Jordan wasn't my idol, even though he was my mentor.
Right.
Michael Thompson was my idol, right? A Bahamian that gave me a blueprint that made me feel it was possible for me to go do this thing. When I went off to Indiana, and I went off to North Carolina, and then I got drafted into the NBA. That was his blueprint. That was my dream, okay? And I was able to make that happen. Now, you tell me what young Bahamian boy or girl, and we have kids, and we're raising kids,
Right.
or when we were kids, doesn't have a dream of wanting to do something big.
Well, last time I checked, Buddy Hield had that same dream, and VJ Edgecombe had that same dream, and you had that dream, and DeAndre Ayton had that dream, and they all got Bahamian ties. I guess you were the inspiration to them, like Michael was the inspiration. So do it.
I will tell you, I had one of the most enjoyable and memorable moments of my NBA TV career when I was working for NBA TV.
And that's not in Canada either, right?
No. So understand, I never left home. I went to work.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
So I don't know how many Bahamians work globally, but I happen to work globally. Okay,
Right.
and I happen to work at home. So when you go off to work for opportunity, the bigger issue there is, and this is what I get excited about and passionate about, is the Bahamas should be our first option.
Yeah.
Meaning opportunity to do anything
Should be here.
should be here first.
Right.
Now, this is not the first year parents will have their kids watch their kids go off for opportunity in pursuit of opportunity elsewhere in the world. That's not a new problem.
No.
That's a problem that's ongoing in our country. So the fact that elsewhere became the first option, because there wasn't an option here. Now, all due respect, we don't have an NBA basketball franchise in the Bahamas.
Right. Understood,
but there are other dreams that our youth have. Those dreams reside in being doctors and lawyers and entrepreneurs and a slew of visions for themselves that they have, right? But if the first option means you have to leave to realize that dream, to provide for yourself, your family, your community, then we have a problem that we should be talking about. Because it can't be we at 15 years and 14 years old in Johnson Road playing basketball, seeking opportunity, to discover that the same generation today are still asking for these opportunities that don't reside
Rick,
here at home.
That is one of the major reasons why I still to this day, I use this platform to try and make the country better, because we were challenged to think, we were challenged to ask questions, we were challenged to succeed. And then when it's our opportunity and our time to play quarterback or call the plays, now you tell me sit down and be quiet, be trying to something.
I think you've seen a lot of athletes be told, in general, people shut up and dribble, or sit down and stop commenting on your work environment, or challenging each other to be better should be the status quo. That's how we won championships in LA. So when I tell you Michael Thompson was my idol and my model, when I got to that level, I had to reset and I had to find a new kind of blueprint for what I wanted to accomplish. And that's where I said I wanted to play 12 years and win 3 championships. Why? You brought up Larry Bird. Larry Bird, when I got drafted by the Celtics on draft night, they booed me. Red Auerbach, one of the number one general managers in the country in the NBA.
Legendary GM.
Legendary. He drafted me. I got booed. When I went up there the next day to talk to the press, and I went up there in my Bahamian shirt, they expected me to be in a suit, but I put on a something representative of us in the Bahamas.
Right.
They asked me, what do you want to do with your career? I said, I want to play 12 years and win 3 championships. Where do you think I got that from?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. At that point in time, he'd won 12 years. He played 12 years and won 3 championships. How many years did I play? 12 years. How many championships did I win? 3 years.
And I remember there was a time, I was in Florida at the time. I'd gone over, and Marcus, and MJ knows Marcus, one of my best friends from college. He's like, bro, I got tickets, man. Your boy, the Bahamian Rick Fox, we playing in Miami. I said, yeah, let's go check out Rick, man. He said, yeah, bro. And we went there. Obviously, Bird was still there. And that's when Larry Bird used to lay down. Couldn't even sit on the bench anymore.
Yeah, that was my rookie year.
And your rookie year.
Yeah,
and I looked at Marcus. I
91.
said, bro, it's a good thing we took in this game. He goes, why? Because you see your boy. I said, no, I know Ricky. I see Ricky all the time. I see Ricky off the court. No disrespect to Ricky. I see Ricky all the time. This is the last time we probably going to see Larry Bird, bro.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I think maybe a year after, your second year, he retired. Bach gave out. But Larry was one of the, I I couldn't stand Larry Bird growing up. The minute he retired, I felt like I lost a family member. I was like, no more Bird.
Just the era changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Naughty, thank you for that intro, because it took me down memory lane, and it reminds me of who I've been and who I am,
Right.
who I've always been.
Well,
when you speak to me as someone that you grew up with, someone that's from this country, someone that's walked,
and who I'm proud of for what you've done.
Thank
And
you.
you've inspired so many people.
I appreciate that. That I've carried the Bahamas everywhere I've went, and so and people may not see that because they're home,
Right.
But when social media, had I grown up in a social media era,
Yeah.
where you post everything and
Right.
They'd have known for a long time.
the more people would have known that to be the case. But that is what it is.
But I mean, a lot of people who may not even follow sports could sit back also and say, well, I saw him in this movie.
Oh my
I saw him
gosh.
in that
I
series."
literally just watched.
I won't bring up one particular series because she hates it, but
What
I used to
series?
watch it on HBO.
What's that?
Yeah, with Adebisi, and I can leave that just like that. But I was like it was one of
I
them.
literally, we both did. Just watched
Right.
Ricky the other day. We were watching the Denzel movie with Spike Lee,
Highest to Lowest.
and
Right.
the highest to lowest. And
Yes.
when you came on the screen, we were like, "Oh my God, there's Ricky!" And it was so good
I
to
was like,
see you.
and I laughed. I was like, back in the day, they have him as a player. Now they got him as a coach. I like how they wrote him in, and it was good
well,
stuff.
well, I was out working, and Spike called me. And Spike is a personal friend. I met him in college back in North Carolina. He came to speak
Wow.
to the student body when I was in college in North Carolina, and then we went out and had something to eat and drink after that. And we talked about the movie Jungle Fever that he was gonna make.
Yep.
And later on, I ended up being in a movie called He Got Game with him.
Right,
that's
I
right.
had to audition for that, but because I met him in college at North Carolina, he knew me.
Right.
And we got to work together, and we stayed friends. But he called me and he said, "Hey, I got this movie I'm doing. I want you to come do a scene with Denzel for me. It's important. You're the only person that could do this."
What's it
That's
like working with him,
amazing.
though, with Denzel? I mean, obviously, you and Spike have the chemistry because of your friendship.
Two
but I mean-
opportunities. 2 times I've worked with him. First time in a scene with him. That's, I always say in life, when you rise to a level of excellence, you find yourself surrounded by people that do it at the best and highest level.
That is so
that
cool.
moment was a
Yeah.
moment where I went, okay, after 30 years of being in television and movies, over 250 TV and movies and episodes, I now am standing opposite.
But
Denzel.
let's pivot a little bit, because yes, you are this global basketball superstar, but you're also, a Hollywood star. So what was that like? The transition from just basketball to being in these big movies and living out of Hollywood, in that bubble.
Well, let's talk about it again, because here's another individual that had a blueprint that gave me the idea that such a thing would be possible. Because where do I get the idea that I can go from
Right.
the NBA into television and movies? And that's Sir Sidney Poitier. That's another Bahamian.
Right.
Do you understand? I grew up with family members of his. They were my closest friends, the Coopers. Like, I believe that person was not only just a movie or TV star, but not TV's a movie star,
Right.
Was a Bahamian from Cat Island,
But when
right?
you-
Someone that we either can connect to and celebrate, or we can, once again, have issues because he lived his life in the U.S., career working wise in Hollywood, and maybe wasn't home all the time. And everyone feels a certain way I've heard this about him, but
Right.
he has nothing. Both he and Michael owe me nothing. You know why? Because they went out and they showed me the blueprint. They did something that I, as a Bahamian, believed could be possible. And I went out and followed their model.
I look at it and I say, well, wow. I just sat here and it dawned on me. I said, what a blessing. I mean, you got to cover Michael Jordan in the NBA, one of the greatest. Defensive assignment, probably not easy.
Yeah.
And my good friend Stacey Augman, Stacey's talking to me. Stacey Plastic Man is talking to me in depth about how he liked to play against Jordan, and Jordan respected him for playing good defense, but it would never be the same. Every time you faced him, it would be something different that he'd throw at you that you didn't see the previous time. And then to know that you played at that level, you won championships with Kobe and Shaq, and then you turn around and then when you acted with Denzel Washington, and you've been in Spike Lee movies. You've worked with really the GOATs.
Yeah. I've been blessed. I've really been blessed. And I tell people I'm not driving this. I'm a child of God. God has placed me in all these places, and it's to be an inspiration. It's to be a provider for my family. It's to be an example of when you have big visions, when you have ideas of where you want to go, where you put your attention and your energy on a daily, moment-to-moment basis, you get the life and the results that you deserve. And I was over here at the university yesterday speaking to some journalist students. We spent a couple hours together last night. Thank you, Tamika Lundy, for having me. That was one of the most inspiring nights I've had in the last 4 years of being back home.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I tell you, they are the future. They carry the message. They will challenge our country, our readers. And we talked about that. We talked about how you give 30 minutes of effort a day, you're going to get 30 minutes of result in your life.
Right.
But if you have this passion and this fire, and I'm talking to you out there, you know who I'm talking to. I had a young student, and I said, I have this passion. I have to make this work. I want my career to work. And they said, okay, well, I'll tell you how it worked for me. I wore it all day long, every day. When I walked in the room, you could not tell that I didn't want to be a basketball player. You couldn't tell when I walked in the room and I entered Hollywood that I wasn't trying to be a television. I carried it because I lived, eat, and breathed pursuing becoming better at that thing all day long, every day. And so when you pursue life like that, you get the kind of results and your life starts to look exactly how you imagine it. But what I want to, and this is for these kids I was talking to last night, I hope some of them are listening still. I'm going to reiterate, your life looks like you imagine it. Now, when we go places, and when I go places, and I tell people I'm from the Bahamas, they say, oh, you're from a small island nation.
Right.
Please take that small off of our name.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anymore that I'm from a small island nation, because I don't have small ideas. I don't have small expectations. I don't have a small thinking, right? I don't expect we should only get a little, that we should have small results, a little. We should have big results. Big things should be happening for us. But that's when you think and envision big things start to show up. But you have to take the first step. You have to be courageous enough to have a vision like Michael Thompson had, to have a vision like Sir Sidney Poitier had, to actually believe that your life can be big, that you can have more, that you should have more, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So what do you say? Because I promise you, there are a lot of 13, 14-year-olds listening to you right now. What do you say to the young 14-year-old boy, the 13-year-old girl that's listening to you right now, that's thinking about chasing a big dream? What do you say to them?
Tell everyone. Speak it. Speak it to everyone that you come in contact with. Because as I told these young kids last night, someone saw me and heard me. It was a basketball coach. He asked me when I first sat down with him. I'd never played outside of Johnson Road basketball, a lot of basketball in my life. So I needed skills. I needed to be taught. And he asked me, what do you want to do now that you're here in Indiana? I said, I want to play basketball for you. I want to get a scholarship to the University of North Carolina, and I want to go play in the NBA like Michael Thompson. And in that moment, having never played in Indiana, you mentioned it, Naughty, Indiana basketball is Hoosier basketball.
Correct.
The coach had just won the state championship 3 months earlier. And here I was telling him, yeah, I want to come play on your team that just won the state championship, and then I want to get a scholarship to play for Dean Smith, and then I want to go to the NBA.
It's crazy.
And then you did it.
But that, I spoke it to this coach. I told him this vision that I had. And you know what he could have done in that moment? He could have laughed at me.
Right.
He could have said, well, boy, you know what the odds of that is? You know what the chances of that happening is? He didn't do that. He said, I can give you the tools. What you do with them is up to you. He took me out on the basketball court that very day, showed me one move, told me to do it until he told me to stop. Well, let me tell you something. That man went home before I did. The people I was living with, there was the math teacher in the high school. He had to come get me out that gym. And then when I got home, I went out in the yard. Mm-hmm. And I went to the basketball court out in the yard. Then they had to call me in to sleep. And then I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. I went on the basketball court.
I had the same disease when I was in Florida. It's something when you get over there and you see all the facilities you got. Did you come from playing on concrete? And in your backyard, I got a gym that I could get in at 6:30 in the morning. What? And lights on?
Stop it. So but you wear it.
Correct.
You have to wear it. Because what I'm saying to these young kids that I spoke to last night is, if you are wearing it, don't tell me you're passionate about something. Show me you're passionate about it. And how do you show me? Because you're talking about it, you're doing it, you're living it. You walk in the room, it's all over you. Because if I'm someone that cares, and I see someone trying to fight to live a dream, then it's hard for me to not lend a hand, because I see them doing something for themselves. And that's the dignity and the passion that I think when you have that, the universe starts to send you the people that are going to help you. They start to send you the opportunities, and you start to see them because you're looking for them as opposed to giving it 30 minutes a day.
Let me ask you this. Seeing how you've been international, we got kind of caught up, and you've experienced a lot of things that the average Bahamian hasn't, and through hard work, not because, it was served up to you because who you know or what you know. You work for it.
Yeah.
But do you think that our age now, and not the age you or the age me, we ain't call no names, call no numbers, but do you think years ago when we were playing in Johnson Road, do you think we'd be having this conversation today and look at the country and say, wow, nothing has really changed to where it should be?
Okay, you going there now. You're going to get me fired up.
Is it though? I mean, after seeing what you've seen, you don't think that simple example, we shouldn't have a gym at every high school in this country? We shouldn't have the proper facilities, proper libraries, and that's just on the basic level.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking about taking sports to the next level in different.
Yes. Unacceptable that 53 years later, we're not number one in the world. So, hear me when I say that. I'm a competitive individual. I've done everything in my life, competing with myself, pushing myself, competing with others to succeed and to accomplish things. There is no reason why our country should not be the best country in the world. Number one in the world. Now, I don't care that our neighbors are the U.S. or that our neighbors are fellow Caribbean countries, or that if you look to the east, it's Europe and Africa. Whatever. I'm not interested in being a small island nation. My interest is that we become the best nation in the world. And that should be okay to aspire to be number one in the world. What's wrong about that? Is that too big a vision? Is that too much?
I don't think so.
I thank you.
I do not think so.
Thank you, because you have to believe or want more, and believe that more is possible, to demand that we get more, to then unify and move as one to build more. And I just don't see right now coming home for 4 years. Now, when I say coming home I've been living home for 4 years.
Right.
I moved home.
Right.
Talking about my kids got out of college. I was
right.
Son, Sonic, look here,
look. As soon as COVID opened up and I could get out, and my daughter graduated from college, bye. Y'all know where to find me.
Exactly where to find me.
And so I move home, right? Because that's my choice,
right?
And let me make this straight. I was offered citizenship in the U.S. on 2 different occasions. By the U.S. government.
They would want to have you. They would want to have you.
By the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Okay? No disrespect to the U.S. I have lived an amazing life there, built a career there. I passed both times. Because to me, that sounded so odd. Well, I'm a Bahamian. Like, when I'm done working, I'm going home.
Right.
Right? I'm going home. And when I'm done raising my kids to the level where now they're out in the world taking care of them, so I'm going home.
Right.
Because that's where I'm from.
Right.
Right? And so I've reached a point in my life where I could do that 4 years ago. So being home on a day-to-day basis, for 30 years previously working around the world, I'd come home, at least 2 months out of the year, every year, on and off. Vacations, holidays, family visiting. I've been home at different times, building different businesses that people may not know of. But being home for 4 years consistently is
an eye-opener.
Is an eye-opener. Because I left at 15, even though I come back at home and I spend time over the 30, it's different when you live and drive the streets.
Right.
When you interact in businesses and you build your business at home and you go into ministries and you try to get things
Come get
done.
some of them potholes, Come get you some. Get some of them potholes.
Hey, look here. When I wrote that piece on my Facebook, about the potholes. That's not an imagined conversation about potholes in this country.
No.
I personally, in Golden Isles, blew out 3 tires
I've
in the
lost two.
span in 2022 and 3. Okay, that's a personal experience to me.
Right. And
Do you hear me?
And you've also come
many
from,
I
Bahamians
have
wrecked.
in my
Too
phone a
many
number for
Bahamians.
tire repair. I
Yeah.
can call the brother.
Many
and
Bahamians.
kudos to him. He will show up quickly.
But
I'd fix
my
that
thing
tire.
about it is, you've also come from an environment where you don't have to make noise about a pothole because if there's a call to the city and parks, the pothole is fixed.
So my speaking truth to power in the moment was for some read as an attack on the administration or individuals in power right now representing constituencies. If you look back on what I wrote, I spoke to the Golden Isles constituents.
Right.
I spoke to the voters of Golden Isles. I worked in Golden Isles for a year and a half. When I first came home, I set up my first business in Golden Isles. I don't think you heard me.
Right.
No,
So
we
A
did.
Bacardi factory for 18 months. I built my business that I came home there. So I drove those streets. I was in that community every day.
Right.
So I know it. Okay. So that's what moved me in the moment was here we were in a by-election where there was a moment for our country in this coming year where the constituents of Golden Isles are going to have a leadership position. They're going to give a referendum, not only on their constituency, but on where the country's going. And what I wanted to say to them was, please be responsible, vigilant, take in the candidates, all 4 of them, not any one particular one, because they're going to be out canvassing. They're going to be telling you what the future of your constituency looks like. But more importantly, ask them what the future of our country looks like. Ask them what the plan is, because they're going back to their party to not only represent you, but to lead us, right? And so
Right.
you're sending a very powerful message to all of us based on how you choose to execute in this process your vote and how vigilant you are. So I challenged those constituents to please be vigilant and represent all of us in this by-election because a general election is around the corner.
Yeah.
Right? And so it sets the tone for the rest of the country. Now, potholes were at the center of that, and we can.
We're going to get to that.
We're going to talk more about it. We're going to get into the
music.
specifics of it, but we do have to take a break
But
here.
we do want to touch on that
Yes.
and pick that thought up on the flip side of the break.
And of course, so you guys are listening to Talking Heads on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM with Naughty, MJ, and our very special guest today. He doesn't even need an introduction because I think, see, you probably have one of the most famous names in the country because you're a global superstar, you know, so you do, the fact that you do represent us every chance you get, I think helps this country a lot, so we do appreciate that, you know?
Thank
we
you.
do.
It's
All right.
a
And all of
joy
you
to-
texters, I am going to get to you all
Got
right
a
out
million
of the break.
texts. We see you. We promise.
And I think the universal message from what I'm glancing at, yes, we will ask Ricky more about his political future too.
We
Just
will
relax,
get
calm down.
into all of that. You're listening to Talking Heads on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We will be right back.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's. Well worth the trip.
Join the Bahamas Heart Association for its inaugural golf tournament, proudly presented by Visa and Fidelity Bank on Sunday, November 30th at the spectacular Royal Blue Golf Club. Every swing brings hope and healing to young hearts. Gather your team and play with purpose or make a donation. Tee off for tiny hearts because every heartbeat deserves a chance. For more details, contact the Surfing the Sassoon Heart Foundation at sassoonheartfoundation.org.
To my neighbors in Golden Isles, Even the PLP candidate had to admit it. You've been ignored and neglected for years. 4 years in power, and now weeks before an election, they show up paving roads. But I never left you. I live here, I work here, and I serve you every single day. Let them know Golden Isles is not for sale. On November 24th, vote the name you know and trust, Ryan Brown and the Free National Movement. I never forgot.
Paid for by the Free National Movement.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
What happens when your faves team up? You get an original Asiago Bacon Club. Enjoy the iconic taste of KFC's 11 herbs and spices with a bite into KFC's original recipe chicken filet layered with Asiago cheese, crisp lettuce, tomato, bacon, our signature ranch, all on a golden brioche bun. KFC's original Asiago Bacon Club is made fresh, made right, available only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
I go hard in the paint. Leave you stankin'. What the thinking? I won't die for it. So what I say? Front yard, broad day with my see Gucci, that's my Gucci. I hang in the jail with them hits, boy. Walking like a flame on the hood. Riding real slow, bending corners.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, November 19th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with Mary Jane in your company right up until 6 p.m. And our special guest, Mr. Rick Fox, having a candid conversation with Rick, and we appreciate you being so candid and getting us all caught up as to where you're at. Let me just touch on some of the text, and then we can jump right back into this conversation. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Do you think it's right for the government to use the government money to campaign with? That's exactly what they're doing for Pickstock and Golden Eyes. I don't know if they really spending the money, but it looked like they paving conveniently at a convenient time.
Yeah, I mean.
Good afternoon, Naughty, and my favorite talk show host, MJ.
Good afternoon.
And big shout out to my Laker brother, Mr. Rick Fox, all the way from Eleuthera. Naughty and MJ, could you please send a birthday shout out to the Commissioner of Police, Ms. Shanta Knowles, who shares a birthday with me, and we're both honored by Rotary International on Saturday night.
Let's do it for both of you. So
there you go.
Happy birthday to our good friend in Eleuthera, and happy birthday to the Commissioner of Police. I didn't know she celebrated her birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Miss Knowles.
And here come the Bahamians chiming in. Listen, my boy Rick, you're a LA champion, so you ain't need to be sitting up trying to prove who you are. Because all your haters was praising you as a Bahamian when you were licking off 3-point shots for the Lakers.
I swear.
On a serious note, I hope Rick runs and sets the tone for our international stars to come home and fix the country. There's so many ills that are affecting our country. We need him to come back home and be a voice.
I love that. I love that comment right there, and here's why. Because what he pointed to is more Bahamians coming home.
Yeah.
The brain drain is
We've been talking about the brain drain.
So what is
years.
the future of our country if a percentage of our talent, our youth, leave for opportunity? Again, the Bahamas should be the first option for opportunity, not the fallback if you can't get opportunity. If you leave and you become, this. There's a lot of bright Bahamians out there working in high levels of positions.
But the problem is, Rick, when they come home, they're told that you are overqualified and you can't get a promotion here, and you basically got to wait for somebody who's been there for 40 years to hit 45 and retire, and that's frustrating.
Opportunities.
And then
that's because
then we come from competitive
opportunities
career
are
backgrounds like us. It's like
how do you go X amount of years knowing that the opportunities are not being created, enough of them aren't being created, enough high-level opportunities aren't being created? How is that still a problem in 2025? I left at 15.
And it's still the same problem.
How is it still the same problem?
Because we haven't changed the playbook. We changed the coaches, the players, but we ain't changed the playbook. And that's the problem.
We changed the people driving the car.
You can't run motion all the time. Somebody can figure out you're running motion and you need to change it up.
At some point, you start running the triangle.
Thank you. And it might
That
be a
has
little
won 13 championships.
and it might be a little difficult to understand at first, but boy, when you get it.
When you get it.
You get it.
You get it.
Let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Talking Heads.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you, bro?
Hey, Noddy, I have a question. Right? Why do you think people have a problem with Rick Fox coming back home and running? And why do you think they're trying to pin him against the boss? First, we have black on black crime. Now we have a red on red crime.
Easy now, brother, because I read too. Watch it now. Watch it.
Oh, Lord. Mashing plenty corn.
That's a lot of Beige Nation you coming on, bro. Watch out.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. But
I think that, you know.
So hold on. Is this a thing? Are they? Is this really a thing? Well, first of all, I haven't made any
announcements.
Any communication of being in frontline politics.
Right.
I'm a part of the conversation, but we all are right now, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Correct. This is that time of season,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know that before. It's silly season. The fact that it's labeled silly.
Stress the silly.
The fact that it's labeled silly is concerning to me, okay? That's concerning to me, okay? Second of all, you're pitting me against someone that's running. I find this interesting. So he said Sabas. They're pitting me and Sabas. Well, first of all, Sabas is not the leader of the PLP, correct?
That's absolutely correct. He's a neophyte in politics.
Not yet.
He's a neophyte in politics.
Right? But
yeah.
okay.
Just been ratified.
What are they pitting me opposite? I'm not going.
I think what some Bahamians are looking at, they look at
the future?
Sebastian Young, visionary, successful, so on and so forth, the future. And some Bahamians are jumping up and saying, just as Sabas is considered the future, but Rick is definitely a candidate to be considered the future.
You're very
also.
high profile. I don't know if anyone told you that, but you're extremely high profile.
I've heard that.
You're going to get mentioned in a lot of conversations.
Understood.
Yeah.
That I needed to clarify.
And I guess
that.
you have been to, my mom, Lord bless her, dad had a saying. She always used to say, Naughty, you know how you expect them to come back home? Come back to the farm when they've seen Paris. Well, you are one of the rarities that have seen Paris and decided to come back home.
And you know why? Because there's no place better than here. Okay? So if you've traveled the world, been everywhere in the world, and you have the opportunity to be Bahamian and live at home, then you are going to be in the Bahamas if you can. That's just a no-brainer to me. Now, I can travel the world and go and experience anywhere, the Europe, the Far East, the West, the Middle East, it doesn't, U.S. I've been blessed to do that, okay? But when I tell you the thing that comes with traveling the world is you see how other people are living in their culture and how they're living as citizens of their nations. And then you come home for 4 years and you go, well, hold on. How come housing is not a national right? How come every Bahamian doesn't get a home?
Right.
There's only 400,000 of us. Not everyone owns a home.
Why are we in a crisis?
And not everyone would own a home. So you're talking about maybe, 80,000, 100,000 people. Housing in other countries is a national right.
It's a priority, that's for sure.
Forget it being a priority in marriage. It's a right.
Yeah.
You're given a home.
Yeah. I think you're.
So why is that not an option? Why is that not even discussed?
Because we're not there yet, Rick. And I think.
Hold on now, Mary Jane. Come on.
We're not there.
When are we going to get there?
I don't know when we're going to get there.
When are the San Antonio Spurs going to get back there?
Oh my God! Don't start on the Spurs, okay? We're going to have a problem here today, guys. And I know my Spur fans going to call in a little bit, but I'm saying.
Mark went up on the board there for Laker Nation.
Conversations like this are important.
We got to stop talking.
Why?
Conversations
Why aren't we
like
there,
this are
Rick?
important because it's just a first step. It's a first step. And we have been talking for a while.
You ever heard of quantum leaping?
Yes.
But hold on.
You know what quantum leaping
We need
is?
to make the leap. Yes.
When are we going to start leaping in this
When
country?
we get more like-minded individuals like yourself decide to come back home and said, all right, let's make the quantum leap together, or let's be part of this quantum leap and change the political landscape and climate and
Because what we're good at doing is we could talk.
Yeah, but we need some action.
We could talk.
So talk to us a little bit more about housing. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Call us, we'll get you in a second. Just hang tight.
I think what you heard me say, the foundation of it should be national housing. It should be a national right.
Okay.
To own a home.
Right.
Just start with that. Then we can move up to the next level of that, which is Well, how come we're not building enough homes?
Well, that's what I was.
Okay?
That's the question. That's a
What is
big
the
question.
issue there? Right?
Yes.
Why is that an issue? And then you go up to the next level of that, and you realize, oh, okay, well, there's mortgages. People can't afford it. What's the price of the home? What can a Bahamian actually afford when it comes to a mortgage? But then I go, okay, well, that's a bigger problem. Now we're talking about affordable living. And is this country an affordable place to live as a Bahamian citizen?
It's very difficult.
And then talking,
we have a
I
cost
don't know
of
how
living
people do
crisis.
it.
We have a cost of living
Cost of
crisis
living
right
up
now.
the wazoo.
Everything is very expensive.
If you're a Bahamian, you can't afford a parcel of land. I've had real estate agent friends tell me, look, a lot of the zoning is haywire, whereas you got an inner city home labeled as a single unit dwelling.
If the zoning change.
But I can't buy it, and I can't put a triplex on there or whatever, and now make affordable housing for the inner city community and become entrepreneurial and buy up a bunch of those properties.
And here's
do
my
that.
other issue. Why is it affordable? Because you know what's affordable for someone that makes $1 million? That house looks a certain way, right?
Right.
Why do they call it affordable? Right? Why can't we raise what is affordable for a Bahamian? I built a model home. You know what someone told me? They came by and saw it. They told me that's too nice for Bahamians.
Oh no!
But I want to
said,
talk to you
excuse
about
me,
no.
It's too nice.
Oh no!
For a Bahamian?
Really?
I built a model home that was too nice.
That's
All right.
crazy.
And
talk.
it's supposed to be an affordable home.
Here's what we got to do.
too
Let's
much. That's
get these
unacceptable.
callers in, and then we'll get to the break. Flip side of the break, I'll deal with the text. We'll talk some more about housing. We'll talk about Partana and what's going on with that, and what that could bring to the table, and obviously some more stuff going on as far as you speaking up, even though you're an ambassador.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what that's been like being an ambassador. Okay.
And so on, and then obviously some more questions on the country. But right now, let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty MJ, how y'all doing?
Good
What's
afternoon.
going on, bro?
How you doing, Mr. Fox?
Hey, good afternoon.
This is the type of rhetoric that I've been waiting to hear for a long time, especially the fact that you have a lot of intelligent Bahamians who went abroad, became successful, made a lot of connections, and they say they don't want to come home, but you're willing to come home to help the Bahamian people. And I appreciate that, and I want more Bahamians to follow that same strategy and that same plan to come home and use their connections and what they've learned from traveling the world to help the Bahamas improve and grow into a first world country, which has been a long time coming.
The #1 country.
Thank you so much.
Let's start putting that in our minds, man.
Good stuff,
Thank you so
caller.
much,
Start
caller.
moving towards it. Thank you for that.
Talking Heads.
Yeah, good afternoon, Naughty and MJ, and good afternoon, Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Ambassador, the movie, one of my favorite movies is when you was acting with Lisa Ray, and you and the other detective was fighting up over, and you body slam him on the coffee table. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one, but I love that one right there.
Yeah,
But,
thank
wow.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I have a question for you, but you answered a piece of it just now when MJ asked you the question. Yeah, I heard what you said about politics, but if you do get into politics, what you see need to change in the country urgently, what you'll work on first. Like, we don't have a Freedom of Information Act, and we don't have a local government for New Providence and things like that, and campaign finance reform. But where you come from, and you come from like a county, whatever, a mayor and a commissioner with a deal with little smaller problems within communities. I want you to touch on that. What you think? How you think that'll work here? I want you to touch on, you was married to one of the finest women on the planet, Vanessa Williams.
And most talented,
I want you
yeah.
to touch on, I think you all have a daughter together. Touch on how that was like to be dating and married to someone that's
All right.
Muff,
All right,
man.
you going everywhere
Gone into
now.
Stephen A.
You're
Smith
going
mode today.
everywhere.
All right,
Thank
Muff,
you.
we got you covered.
Thanks.
Good stuff, though.
Talking Heads. Hi.
Talking Heads.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, that's you.
That's you.
Okay, Ambassador.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, Poppy. Ambassador, I just wanted to ask you quickly. I don't know if you get a pen. They're really in a long answer, but it's a short question. Like just like the last caller, what we doing wrong? I mean, what could you suggest right now if you could give us a suggestion? And not asking if you was the Prime Minister or Cabinet Minister, but if you just could, if an air was listening, what can we do, knowing that maybe we doing some things wrong? How could we make it a little different? Like, how would you encourage the government or us to encourage people to come back home, people like you, to serve and to do more things here? And with sports and stuff, like, what are we doing you would do a little different or improve? I don't want to say what we doing wrong, but what you will improve on when you do a little different. If you had the opportunity or someone.
Pauper, right.
That's a great question.
Yeah, right after the news,
Thank
Pauper,
you
we'll let Rick answer that because we go into the break, and right out of the break, we'll let him answer that. I got the question down for you. Let's get to the other call. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Listen,
I got
before you go into this conversation, you make sure the Thanksgiving Thursday you don't be far by me and you got a Cowboys Chiefs and I got a case of Bud Light on Ice now, okay?
Listen, man. We'll talk about Thursday, but listen, Rick is exactly correct on two things. Number one, you cannot change this country unless you have a perspective from seeing other countries of one, what is wrong, and two, how it works and it can be fixed by seeing what other people do. There's nothing new under the sun, right? But if we keep just getting people who have no experience, never been anywhere else, have never done anything else, you're going to keep getting what you get. That's the first thing, okay? The second problem is this issue of housing. Until we until we remove that repealing of the Immovable Properties Act, you will never get property to be affordable in this country when there's a behavior enough to go to a bank and a $35,000 down payment for a $350,000 home is running me to $50,000, $60,000, and I have to borrow that at crazy interest rates when people in the States could do that same thing for less amount of money and interest rates half of what we're doing. Okay? We have to allowing foreigners to buy property in this country because those that are buying it are coming with money. And they're inflating the price, and that's pushing people out of the market. And if people can't afford to buy, they can't afford to build. Can't afford to build, you can't afford to own. And you create a systemic system of perpetual renters, and by and large, most of the people you're going to be renting to are foreigners. So you have to understand, there's countries where housing is given as a right, foreigners can't own there. They can't come in and inflate the price. That's the issue.
How do we, Doc, how do we balance that with the need for the foreign direct investment, though? Because that is, a consideration. How do we balance that?
Home is not a foreign direct investment, MJ. Home is not a foreign, that's not a country, that's not a national foreign direct investment. If I want to come here and put out business, okay, that hires people in major amounts and allows for commerce and building and for money to circulate, that is something that, if home is a one-time purchase, that even if I get the construction company to build it, a one-time purchase. What we need for national development is foreign direct investment that's perpetual, that keeps perpetuating the investment. That's the difference that has to happen. And so what we need is, we got all these cars down here, and we have to import them. You get either a car dealership or a car manufacturing place, okay? Or an electronic place, a furniture place that services every hotel, food business place that produces food and sells it. Those are foreign direct investment things that work for the country.
No, I mean,
buying a home in Baker's Bay don't help us.
I mean, they're paying property tax. We are going to assume that's an investment. They purchase, they pay VAT on everything they purchase in the country. I mean, money does come in through these investments, right?
But that's short-sighted because again, they're paying VAT on the stuff that buy or to build this place. That's a one-time thing. A foreign direct investment should be something that creates a lasting impact, that keeps money taking into the country and then staying in the country and moving around.
Good stuff, right? Doc. I appreciate you. We got to get to the news, man, but always good to hear from you. And circle that calendar, Thanksgiving Thursday. I got you. Cowboys and Indians. You know how we do it.
The Chiefs, right?
That's Big Chief.
I got you. All right, I got you.
All right, we're going to get to the break. Flip side of the break. The news will be coming right at you, and right out of the news. Texters will get to your text. Callers will get to your calls, and we'll let Rick respond to some of the questions you raised for him. And we got a few more for him as well. So keep it right where you got it. The Wednesday, November 19th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ and our special guest, Mr. Rick Fox, continues right after this.
And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there. And they say yeah. And they stay there. Cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Feeding the crew? Fueling the cravings? There's something for everyone with the new KFC Fill-Up Box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. Not a crumb's gonna survive when the KFC box hits the table. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
For quite a while. Serving since 2021. This time around is Brian Brown. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. Brian Brown.
This message has been brought to you by the Free National Movement.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more, there's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Yeah. Jumpin', them boys up to something. They just spent like 2 or 3 weeks out the country.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Kelly's Home Center, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, NRG Nutrition, Prince Masters, Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited, and Tropical Gyros.
Babies that I miss. Chicken finger, french fry for them that wanna dance. Jumpin', them boys up to something.
Well, we're back at you on the Wednesday, November 19th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty along with Mary Jane and your company right up until 6 p.m. Special guest Rick Fox with us. Mr. Producer, did Pearlie attempt to zoom in at all yet? Pearlie's supposed to zoom in, you know.
Where's Pearlie? Oh, goodness.
Touch Pearlie and tell Pearlie to zoom.
And that'd be another Laker. So I'd be, surrounded by 2 Laker lovers and an actual Laker. And an actual Laker. Speaking of the Lakers, one of the things that has amazed me over the years, you talk about all of the opportunities you've had and like how you've been so successful. I think it's also kind of a testament to your character. I think that not only do you show leadership in a lot of things that you do, but a lot of your peers have deep respect for you. One of the things that the late, great Kobe Bryant said was that people don't realize how important Rick was to what we did. He defended, he hit shots, he kept the locker room straight. You need guys like that to win championships. He also said Rick never backed down, never. He was fearless, and we fed off that. And this is the final one because I know this. I know this is heavy for the 2 Lakers in the room. You're going to try
and make me cry. Anyway, go ahead.
Kobe said that Rick was one of the smartest players I ever played with. He saw the game 2 steps ahead. And I think that's just a testament to, not only your love for basketball, but your leadership and just everything you did. And as a Bahamian, you really have made us very proud.
Like the time he punched Doug and Jackie Christie in the mouth in Sacramento. I love that was my boy.
You look
at the world.
You look at these new generation of Bahamian players. You look at the DeAndres, who's also a Laker now. You look at VJ. You look at Buddy. You look at Jonquel. And you look at Clay as well, Michael's son. And I know that you said that Michael was your inspiration, but you must recognize that you were the inspiration for that whole generation of superstar players that we have now. You were the guy that they related to. What you did.
Yeah, thank you for those words from one of my brothers, one of my dearest friends, someone I love and miss. You thought you were going to get emotional about it. That always hits me so hard when I.
Mine would always be secondary to yours because of what you lived with the man. But
you talk about a teammate that fought together for championship success and excellence. We pushed each other hard every day to be better. We didn't accept anything other than excellence from each other. And look, Kobe and I would physically fight in practice.
It's crazy.
We'd get into it, but we would go to battle against anyone else in this world. Shaq's another one. I'll see my brother next week here. He's coming home here to see me.
Well, brother, just put it in advance. I can talk to Shaq. I ain't really talk to Shaq.
Yeah, but these are people that I call teammates, but I call brothers that we did great things together, and we did it because we held each other accountable. We challenged each other. We pushed each other. We didn't care about the fact that what it looked like on the outside was that somehow we didn't like each other or didn't get along. We put being first for our families and our community and our team and our city is the most important thing. And there was nothing acceptable other than finishing first. And so when you hear me talk about, you brought up some great names. When you bring up Michael Thompson, you know I idolize him. He was the blueprint for me. When you talk about Buddy right now, I had no idea the impact I had on Buddy's life until I met him and put him on my show on NBA TV when they were trying to get me to interview every other draft pick that year.
Right.
And I said, no. I'm interviewing Buddy Hield, and I'm going out to L.A. because I know my brother Kobe is mentoring him.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
He heard me talk about him so much.
So crazy.
In the locker room.
Wow.
Okay? So there's a reason why Buddy developed a relationship with Kobe, right? There's a reason why I fought for years for Buddy to come to L.A. I'd go on social media and tweet. I'd try and push the Lakers to trade
traded for him a couple of years ago.
I pushed hard because I know if you can get a Bahamian on a Laker team, that's championships.
Right.
Right? So Michael, me, like I was trying. Now we got DeAndre there, right?
Oh, don't say that.
I pushed for DeAndre to be there. Succeeded in that.
That is amazing.
Because I know if he gets there, he can turn his career around, right? So behind the scenes, I want the best for these players. When Buddy told me he met me as a kid in Freeport at Junkanoo, when I was walking through Junkanoo and I signed a Bahamian dollar bill for him, people don't know this. We do this. I did this interview and he told me that story on NBA TV. I said, I want your signature on a Bahamian dollar now, because you're going to be the next one. And he got drafted 10th to the Pelicans, right? But these are other Bahamians. VJ, I could not be more proud of this kid. He's going to be the rookie. I think he's going to be the rookie of the year in the NBA.
He's on the pace.
Right? I think so. The only thing that stops him from being rookie of the year is the Larry Bird rule. No offense for Cooper Flag. Outside of that, is VJ.
So know that I follow these fellow Bahamians. I run into them around town and around the world, right? I'm rooting for them behind the scenes. I'm doing everything I can to move their careers positively in directions where I can be of impact, right? And so I've tried every way to get Buddy to LA, but he's in a good situation in Golden State, right? Clay has been struck with the same situation that I was struck with, and I want to address this right now, okay? We talked about opportunity. We talked about having to leave for opportunity, and that the greatest wish I have for any Bahamian is that the Bahamas is first in the opportunity, that any opportunity or dream they may have for themselves, they find it here.
Right.
Why? So they don't have to leave home. They don't have to leave their family at the age of 15 or any age. They don't have to leave their culture. They can be and become anything they want. Live the life beyond affordable. We were talking about affordable living.
Right.
Why does affordable living mean minimum wage? Why can't it mean more? Why can't we have more right here at home. So when I talk about it, I get passionate because you go off, and I went off, and I was playing in Boston for the Celtics. And when you're playing and during the season, you're not allowed to go and do qualifying tournaments for your home country. And so I wasn't able to do that for the Bahamas in 1994 during that season. At the end of the season, there was a World Championship opportunity, right, to play in the World Championships. And the Bahamas didn't have a team in the World Championships. We didn't have a team at the time. There was no jersey for me to wear to represent my country, right? And so I explain this to people all the time. I said, look, if you have an issue with the fact that I honored my mother, then you have an issue with Scripture. You have an issue with Exodus 20:12. It says, in a commandment, honor your mother and your father, so your days will be long upon this earth.
Yeah.
In that moment, I had an opportunity to honor my mother, and I did. 6 years later, in 2000, they called me again. They said, hey, we want you to play for the Olympic team. You know what I did? I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm passing on this opportunity to be an Olympic athlete because I'm Bahamian. And she said, yeah, you'd be taking an opportunity from a Canadian, and you're not Canadian. You're Bahamian.
Boom. And your mommy tell you that?
This is my mummy. Hold on. A Canadian woman that's lived 50 years of her life in this country, still here today.
Right. Okay? Still a foot and a half shorter than you, but could look up and tell you I could chop down this big tree one shot.
She knows. My mom was an Olympic athlete.
A lot of people don't know that.
They don't know that. For Canada. Okay? She was an Olympic athlete for Canada. She tells me, as I told her, I'm passing on this. I'm not Canadian. I'm Bahamian. I don't want to play in the Olympics for Canada.
Right.
Right? But I'll hear Bahamians tell people I played in the Olympics for Canada. Right? So where is this coming from, right?
So weird narrative.
Misinformation.
Weird narrative.
Well, it's narrative. It serves somebody.
Yeah, it serves a
serves
purpose
somebody.
to
It
have
serves
that narrative
a
out
purpose
there.
to brand me as something that I'm not, right? And so I share that to say, if you're out there and you're honoring your mother and your father, you're doing what you're supposed to be under the commandments that we grew up in. I grew up in Faith Temple, right? I honor my mother and my father, right? That's what I did. I did that in that moment. And then I came back, and the 3 years we won championships in L.A., after I passed and told the Canadian national team I wouldn't be joining them for any Olympic activities, I came and I took over the Bahamas national basketball team. Now, people don't know this.
I mentioned it the other day.
I hear this all the time.
I want you to elaborate on it because I mentioned it briefly the other day. I was like, how did King Rice coach our team then?
My roommate from college.
And who was the point guard?
He has talked about that.
And who was...
listen, I always have issues with the Fed, but King Rice was still bad. He was a bad man.
King Rice did that for me. He did that for me. He came to the Bahamas for 3 years, became the coach of the national team. He's a 25-year coach in
the States?
In college basketball. My high school coach that made that same story I told about the basketball coach that I told I wanted to play for him, go to North Carolina.
In Indiana.
He came and brought all of his codes, and passed them on. We had camps with 300 kids trying out for the national team. We fund no money from the government to fund that team for 3 years.
But you got it done.
All done on our part.
And all done behind the scenes.
All done behind the scenes.
Didn't hear the photo ops.
That's not what it was about.
Right.
That's not what it was about. It was about service, right? It was about giving back, right? Now, in that moment, I tried to play for the Bahamas national team. I fought FIBA to play for the Bahamas national team. The same problem that Clay is running into right now.
Right.
The U.S. and FIBA won't allow Clay to play for the Bahamas. Clay's brother plays for the Bahamas.
That's right.
You don't think Clay wants to play for the Bahamas? Clay honored his mother by playing for the U.S. Now he wants to honor his father and play for the Bahamas. They won't let him. They won't let him.
I think we know why.
Right? Yeah, because it would make us too good.
Too strong.
Right?
You'd
So
be too strong.
I'm proud of where our basketball has gotten to. People say to me, what basketball camps you ever done? You know what? Let me say this, okay? People say to me all the time, I've heard this one too, right? What do you ever do for the Bahamas? What do you ever do for the Bahamas?
That's
right?
where folks like me get upset.
And I
'cause I know.
will honestly tell you, not as much as I would like to.
You want to do more.
I have not done as much as I would have liked to. Now, the question you should be asking is, what have you tried to do? Hear me. What have you tried to do? Because I'm not alone in trying to do things here at home. How many of us have actually been trying to do things in our lives here at home? Whether it be in our businesses, entrepreneurially, in our communities, how much have we tried to do, but the system has just blocked us, stifled us, prevented us. The system's been broken, and you can't get things done, right? So I've been successful in doing a lot of things at home, but if I've done 5 things, there's probably 25 things I wish I had gotten done.
Right,
that I tried to do.
And
that I wish I had gotten done. And so when you're home for 4 years, Naughty, and you've gotten some things done behind the scenes and people don't know about them, that's fine. But you've been trying to do other things that change us on a big scale, and they're stifled and they're blocked and the system prevents it from happening, then you say, okay,
you know what I'm getting
where are we
here?
going? Are we going to accept that? Is that
You know
going to
what I'm
be
getting
okay?
here? You know what I'm getting here? And I guess maybe because I played ball too, but what I'm getting is lace them up. Let me pick up a squad. Let me get on this court and let me play. Let me get a run. Let me get in the process. And I mean, get in the run. I mean, get in the political process, the political arena. Since y'all can't get it done right, let me get in and show you with actions as well as words.
So you don't have to be on the front line to make a difference. But what I've discovered is I came home to solve one problem. I came home to solve a climate, entrepreneurial, housing problem.
Sustainable home.
The sustainable
Right.
cement.
Sustainable.
Right.
I came home and brought a material that now was not only born from the Bahamas in business, but went out to the world. It's now a global company.
Right.
So the thing that excited me about coming home and starting a business that would change the way we build in the world was that it would become our story. As a innovation born in the Bahamas.
Branded Bahamian.
Branded Bahamian. No matter how small of an island you perceive us to be, we can do big things. I have traveled the world with this company, and this company is now set up in other parts of the world as a company born out of our soil. In 4 years, it's a global company. The thing that makes me most frustrated is I've gotten more done elsewhere than I have done in my own country. That is maddening to me.
Yeah, that's kind of indictment on the way we're continuing to do things here. All right, we got to welcome Pearly. Pearly, you on the line?
I'm here, just excited listening to
So
you guys.
Pearly's here with us, a part of the conversation.
Before we get in, let me make the intro. This is our other co-host. This is Earl the Pearl, a.k.a. Pearly, longtime Dodger, longtime Laker,
Now I'm surrounded.
longtime Miami Dolphin.
Now y'all got the place surrounded.
I'm a Dolphin fan now, too.
God forgive you.
What you mean? We going to the playoffs. We coming back. 4 more wins. It's in. It's happening. Stop.
Well, if you talking that, my Cowboys making it to the playoffs.
Y'all ain't going nowhere.
See, there you go.
Forget that.
This a real Bahamian right here, boy. This a real Bahamian.
Forget that.
So Pearly, you got company.
Y'all got to draw.
Dolphin.
I got to pull that one off.
Maker combo.
That's what we do. We do the unpredictable.
But let's talk a little bit. Let's pivot just a little bit, Rick, because you said a lot of things that are very interesting, and I can tell that you have that passion to do so much, which makes you kind of a very hot commodity these days in the political world, because you have had some posts on Facebook that have been seen by thousands and thousands of Bahamians. I noticed that the response has been quite positive. When you started to venture a little bit into making these political statements, what was that like for you? Did you want to hold yourself back, or did you say, you know what, I'm going to comment on this?
Yeah, I don't. Speaking truth is something that is, for me, been that's led to very positive things and great results. Whether it's speaking truth in a locker room, speaking truth in a boardroom, I believe that when you see things, you have to stand up. If you think things can be better, you have to challenge the status quo. I'm just on a team. I'm on Team Bahamas, right? And so I just don't do losing, right? And when I look around and I think, okay, we could be better, and we want, and I think we can be first, then nothing is. Average is not acceptable. Being okay and doing just a little bit
mediocre,
accepting.
no.
I don't do that.
You must be someone that's highly coveted for all political parties at this point, because you bring so many tangibles and intangibles to the table. So has there been any outreach from any of the political parties? Has anyone talked to you? Has anyone tried to woo you? Because you would be Cinderella if you were to make the decision.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to both.
Hey, hold on,
I've
Freddie.
spoken to I've spoken to both parties.
The major political parties?
The major political parties.
Sure.
Yes.
What's that been like?
Well, I have a relationship with the current prime minister.
Yeah.
Right. So that's an easy conversation, and that's one that's been going on now for many years, going all the way back to when he was a deputy prime minister. So that's an easy conversation, and I've at times reached out to him for guidance and mentorship in the area of what it's like to be a politician.
Right.
And so his advice was the people will tell you if you're right for frontline politics. And I think that's great advice.
Yeah,
right.
The people
because
will tell
you don't decide that you want to run. The people will tell you, hey, we want you to run.
Right.
Right. And so that was his advice to me over the years. And then currently, look, I'm an open book. I'm for the freedom of information. Like I'm for everything on the front line. Like my life, I've lived a life of being an open book.
Right.
Like everything about me is open, right, and out there for to be scrutinized and looked at. So I don't have an issue with that. I live a celebrity lifestyle for many years, and we get reported on. I can speak to press and reporting in our country at some point if we want to discuss that.
Yeah, we can do that too.
I've met the opposition leader, Michael. We've had conversations. And so between those two parties, I'm getting to know them.
Right.
I like to share with people. Someone said to me, a very respected gentleman, someone I looked up to for years, said to me, we're trying to figure out over here if you're a PLP or an FNM.
And what do you say to that?
And I said, who's we? That was my first thing. Who's we? And so I think the question there was asked simply to say, if you're going to enter politics, you have to be in one of these parties.
Right.
Right? And I said, look, for me, it's not about a party as much as it's about a team. It's about finding the right teammates. And so when you join a team, and I've been on good teams and bad teams, right? But every team I've gone on, I've made them better. I've aspired to become winners collectively as a group. I've ended up being the captain of those teams, right? So I want to understand, what is the vision going forward for our country in either of these parties, right? And once I can understand that, then I have to evaluate, do I believe the people that are actually on that team are capable of delivering that? And whether or not I believe I can join and be a teammate for them. Can I facilitate for them?
Right.
Can I defend for them? Can I fight for them? Can I be vocal? But I also have to let them know, you sure you want this?
What are they getting?
You sure you want me in your party? Mm-hmm. You sure you want me joining your team?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the expectations I have from us as a team. If I join your team, we're becoming number one in the world as a country.
I like that.
And I don't hear any of you talking like that right now.
I like that.
I don't hear anyone talking like that right now, right? I want to know if that's even a vision and an aspiration for each of these parties, that we become number one in the world. Because if that's the aspiration and that lines up with the way I look at things and believe we should all be thinking as a country,
then you're on board.
Then I can be on board, but here's what I come with. Yeah, you're going to want to fight me. We're going to be fighting
like you would code
every day.
If this play you trying to run ain't gonna work, I can tell you this play ain't gonna run.
I can tell you about you. You know what?
Right.
I ain't that guy on the team that ain't going to say,
but maybe that's
this ain't good enough.
But maybe
right
that's
now,
what we need. We've had too many yes men over the years. Maybe we need somebody going to stand up and bug the status quo.
Both parties have to get better. Both of them have to get better. And when I say better, they got to level up.
Okay.
And because I don't see the results in a timely manner, consistently enough, rapidly enough. Because if you look at all of us, right? I mean, we all carry identities, right? A PLP and an FNM is an identity. That same person that I respect told me, well, you grew up in a PLP household, right? We assume you're a PLP. I said, well, let me explain something to you. First of all, yes, miss you, Dad. I was drafted into a PLP family. Okay. Just like I was drafted to the Boston Celtics.
But I remember you
hold on.
leaving for the Lakers.
Hold on. I was
getting there.
drafted to the Boston Celtics. I didn't have a choice. Remember,
Right.
I was booed on draft day.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? I fought. I grew up. I learned. I cut my teeth to be what I hope was going to be a champion hanging a banner in Boston. That didn't happen. At a certain point, new leadership came in, and Rick Pitino, he came to me, he said, hey, I want to build this team around you. I said, okay. I said, what's your vision for us winning a championship? He didn't have the vision. He offered me $33 million. I turned it down because in that moment, I was a free agent. I, for the first time in my life, could make a decision and a choice for what was most important for me. And what was most important in that moment was that I was a part of a championship team. Not that I made $33 million, that I was going to make the sacrifice to pick a team, which was Kobe and Shaq and Phil Jackson and the Lakers and
Derek Fisher
and Robert Horry, and Derek Hart. Let's go down all the
you
names.
can call all the names.
Derek Fisher.
Spare me.
I'll spare you. I'll spare you the whole roster. But I chose to go out there for $1 million.
Well, Sasha Medvedenko, and that's the last one. All right, sorry.
So I didn't choose money. I chose the right team. And I got on that team, and then I became the captain of that team, and we won 3 championships, right? But that was the price I was willing to pay to join a team as a free agent, right? And so when I tell people, when I look at these teams that are choices for us all, not just someone on frontline politics,
but
as we head into a general
Yeah.
election, you're voting for a team that's going to represent you, just like you would vote for the Saxons or the Valley Boys, or you would vote for the Lakers or the Celtics, or you'd root for the Cowboys or the Dolphins. Like, those are our identities, okay? Follow me. Those are our identities. We identify as those things, okay? But what happens when country becomes more important than party? When is country more important than party? You'll notice when it's most important. When survival is at stake.
That is true.
Right? Let's go to moments in our history as a country when we all collectively have to pull together to survive. Right? We've had hurricanes come through here. We know what that's like. Ain't nobody PLP or F&M in the middle of a hurricane.
You're absolutely right.
It's
You're
how
right.
we're going to dig ourselves out of this. So look at Hurricane Melissa down in Jamaica right now. You think anybody talking about the Labor Party or the
PNP?
No. You got people trying to find shelter and eat food, right? I'm telling you right now, Hurricane Future, listen to me. Hurricane Future is here, and not the artist, not the music artist.
No.
Hurricane Future is upon us. Which team is prepared for Hurricane Future? Because until we start talking about that, we're going to keep talking about PLP, FNL. We're going to keep talking about the divide, the identity. You know what my identity is? I'm Bahamian. I want to be on the team where the Bahamas is the most important thing in the room, and we are tackling Hurricane's future for all of us to survive, right? Because that party takes on anyone. That takes on Bahamians that care about the results showing up here before the hurricane hits our shores. Because if we can't feed ourselves, if we can't protect our borders, if we can't have the health care that, if all of these opportunities that we go off for, we leave for health care. What is that about? We import all of our food. What was COVID like for us, guys?
It was rough.
What was that like? That was a
was rough.
snapshot of what the future could look like for us again.
If you don't get it together, you're right.
Let's get this call in real quick, and we'll continue with the combo. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, MJ, and Brother Rick Fox.
And
good
we got
afternoon.
Pearly in here, too. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
I'm going to make this as fast as I can. I'm very, very impressed, Mr. Fox. I don't know you personally. I've been following you for quite some time. You seem to be a man of impeccable integrity, which is very much lacking in this country. And for all the sacrifices that you have made, both off the court and then on behalf of the Bahamas, I say thank you. Naughty and MJ, we can all sit here and agree that apparently, the state of this country, the persons who have been running this country for quite some time, definitely in my eyes, did not have a true love for this country or the Bahamian people. We keep on discussing the same things over and over. In fact, our parents have been discussing these same issues over and over, but yet are lacking results, positive results to propel the Bahamian people and the country to another level. Basically, in closing, what I'd like to say in closing is this. Until we remove a lot of these persons who have personal stakes into what they want over what the country desires and needs, this country is not going to change. We as a people, you talk about struggling, talking about lack of food security, talking about all these things. We have been addressing all these things for quite some time. And yet these persons who are benefiting from the systems that's in place, they have no true love to change nothing because they're benefiting. You know, and the sad reality is, sometimes you don't even fault the politicians that we have. We have to fault us as a people because we know better, and we refuse to demand to make them do better. And I'll close on this one point. Until our judicial system and the way that we do things in this country really bring the teeth to hold them to be accountable and to bring the justice in order to make them pay for the pains and the struggles and the suffering that we as Bahamians in this country who deserve so much, and so much is here for us to benefit from. Until that time comes, trust me, nothing is going to change. But Brother Fox, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your sacrifices. Continue to live your life on integrity. Because like I say, many persons in our parliament and many of the so-called persons we call leaders in this country lacks it. They have no integrity. Thanks for taking my call, Don.
No
Thanks
problem,
so much,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Let me get a couple of these in, and we'll get to the other calls as well too. But I'm just gonna fire off these texts, and then obviously
All
you
right.
can comment
You've
afterwards.
got a lot of them.
But I'll give you a view, Rick, of where you're at. Mika and Joe. Why these people done run right out? Can you ask Mr. Fox if he would throw his name in to run in this election and possibly be the Minister of Sports somewhere down the line in our future? Big up to Rick Fox. I still a Laker because of that fantastic run. It was cool seeing a Bahamian in my 2K NBA game. Salute to you for doing your thing and continuing to want to do your thing to big up the Bahamas. Here we go. Naughty, if I had the power of the Prime Minister, I would give Rick Fox a knighthood and make him Sir Rick Fox. He's great behaving. Maybe when the Archangel Michael becomes the Prime Minister, he could consider this. We would love you to enter politics for any political party. What's up with the lady who comes on TV in the night? She seems to have a problem with you every opportunity. She talks about you. Does she have a crush on you? Oh, Lord.
Oh, my. Someone's got a crush. Well, she wouldn't be the first if she had a crush. She wouldn't be the first or the last. We'll say that.
Hi, Naughty and MJ. As a proud Bahamian, I want to simply thank Mr. Rick Fox for his achievements and for making us so proud on the international stage. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you and your services and your sacrifices. Hold on. I got more. We would love you to enter politics for any political party. That's another one. Naughty, please ask Rick if Kobe and Shaq really didn't like each other behind closed doors. I think Rick explained it. I don't think there was a dislike there. I think there was just competitive fires burning and challenging each other to be.
There were things that were more important than liking each other. And that was my point when I wrote the other day about all of our honorable prime ministers that have come before the current Prime Minister, Ray Davis. Some of them were business partners and law firm partners.
Right.
They were on opposite sides of the aisle. They fought and argued and called each other all sorts of things. But you better believe they're some of the bestest of friends, and everybody knows that, right? When you're fighting for a vision of what you think is best for your people or your country, there's no standing on niceties. Sometimes grace goes out the window because sometimes to get things done, there has to be a fight.
Yeah.
And there's got to be some real tough talk, right? And there's toughness that shows up in the room. And at the end of the day, as long as the Bahamian people will win, I don't care how it looks. I don't care how it sounds, right? Y'all don't care how it looks and sounds. Y'all just want it done. We just want it done.
Absolutely.
Stop talking about it.
See, I mean,
I think that you do have so much to offer. You know, I mean, we've followed you for years, and we know how talented you are with anything that you put your mind to. I love that you shared a lot of your story from the younger years to now with us. But I'm just wondering, you're looking at where the country is. You live here now. all the time.
Burn
now.
the ships. Ain't going nowhere.
Right.
They can't get rid of me.
You in this boat with all of the rest of us. We
Yep.
know that there's a lot that needs to be done. You do have a lot to offer. I know you say that you're looking for a team, the right team, but have you considered it? Frontline politics, running the next general election is, months away. You have the opportunity to step up, step forward now. Have you thought that deeply on it?
Yeah, I think about it. I talked about how much attention are you putting on something in your life, you get the same results.
Right.
If it's 30 minutes, I would say 6 months ago, I was thinking about it 30 minutes a week.
And now?
Every 30 seconds.
Okay.
So, and that's because there's an urgency. When you start having conversations, and the people I speak with the most are the next generation. People that are 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right? And the thing I get from them is they ain't for this identity politics anymore. They are not caught up in the color, the party, the this, the that. They either aren't voting, which breaks my heart, because that means they have checked out, or they looking to vote for the right person to represent them in their constituency, and they're not on this party line talk, right? I just hope they actually don't lose hope, that they don't check out and wait for people to die and pass, because they ain't passing they feel they're not passing the baton. They feel like they're not being let in the room to be leaders. And I say sometimes you have to demand. You have to start leading without permission. You have to start moving around your country like it's your country to be, because it is your country. That's what I told the kids last night. You're going to be writing and interviewing and documenting as journalists the future of this country. You better challenge your leaders. You better challenge your peers. You better write inspiring stories to keep this country moving forward in the way we all envision it to be, right? So you better envision something big, or we're going to keep getting the same small results.
Let's get back to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Yeah, good afternoon, MJ and Mr. Fox.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to hear Rick on the radio. I grew up just across the area in Monastery Park, and we got a chance to meet him. But in listening to him, the sincerity is, you can see the sincerity is there, but something he said, and it prompted me to call. I was listening all along, Naughty and MJ, but we spoke about healthcare, right? Which all roads eventually leads to Princess Margaret or wherever, to a hospital somewhere. But, the fact, we're talking about, it's a pre-thought of COVID, so I was thinking post-COVID. And then where, during the narratives, always reimagine, rebuild, everything was right? Just do it better, build back better, etc. But I think that our ruling class, it seems to me as if COVID-19 pandemic hasn't been any lessons for them, because the hospital has deteriorated. When you look at biosecurity, the biosecurity models as relate to these particular scenarios in pandemic, the hospital has deteriorated. I don't want to get into food security and the likes. And so these are the type of things that concern me. And the situation in the hospital sends a very overt or clear message to me that these people really don't care. I just hang up and listen, because it's unacceptable, the condition of the Princess Margaret Hospital right not here and now. And then we're looking at, I don't know if their minds are stagnant or just, or it can't be lack of clairvoyancy. Something is going wrong here, but it sends a clear message to me, a citizen, a senior citizen who pays taxes. And it's ridiculous. They haven't reimagined or reinvented anything. They haven't even read COVID-19 and the Great Reset. I'll hang up and listen. I'm sick of this place, man. But Rick, I'd like to thank you for bigging up the Bahamas, at home and abroad, my brother. Give thanks.
Yes, thank you.
All right, 52, good stuff. Got a couple more texts. Great talk show so far, Naughty and MJ. Good afternoon to Rick.
Good afternoon. I would just speak to the Princess Margaret Hospital, and I know it well. My dad, my dad passed away in that hospital, so I spent time there. I would tell you that there should be no procedure, and I met some of the doctors, and I'm grateful for the service that they provide and the job they try to do, right? But everything is about your equipment, your environment, your stadium, your locker room, everything, the quality and the level with which you have to operate in. You have to raise the standard for that. In healthcare in general, the fact that we don't have the best hospital in the world, listen to what I keep saying. In the world, not in the region, not just, in our country. If you don't aspire to the things being the best in the world, then you will settle for what we have and tell people, well, that's good. What you mean?
Yeah.
You see how pretty it look on the outside?
Right.
But what's it look on the inside?
Rodents, trash piled
Well,
up.
I don't know. I haven't been recently.
Right,
Okay?
but
I'm
I'm
just-
telling you,
Okay.
I've seen it
It's
recently.
been in the news recently.
Okay, all I'm saying is
dialysis unit in sad state.
Well, let me tell all of our. Look, I'm early 50s, right? So I'm on the second half of my life. Okay, at some point, health is the only thing that matters. It's the most important
You're
thing.
right. You're right.
And you want to be able to afford it.
You want to be able to afford it. And I think that's a national right, which it is, right? We
It
have
is.
that.
We do have that.
But, you want the quality of that right to be on the standard that's the best in the world, right? You shouldn't have to leave for the best care and the best facilities. We have some of the best hotels. We have some of the best expats. Look who comes to our country.
A lot of people want to come and live here.
Come
You're,
on now.
you're absolutely
Come on.
right. A lot of people with a lot of.
I bet if you talk to some of these
investment
expats
money. Mhm.
that have the billions that they have that live in our country, they probably have their own hospitals in their houses. Right? So it's not like healthcare is something that can elude us, right? It should be here for not just those that can afford wealthy things. It should be a national right, and everyone should have it. Healthcare, education, food security, safety and security on our streets. The fact that you cannot walk every inch of this island like I used to do as a kid. I used to walk every inch of this island delivering ice for my dad. It didn't matter if it was a grocery store, a liquor store, going into a liquor store, getting Beck's or Cools or Rotman's from my uncles, driving the truck. It didn't matter where it was, Merv Griffin Hotel, the Potter's Key Dock out at City Market in Life. It didn't matter. I went every inch of this island. I never had a fear of being in the streets in our country, regardless of the neighborhood. I guarantee you find more Bahamians today that's scared to walk some of these neighborhoods and some of the streets of our country.
My brother?
And we only 21 miles long and 7 miles wide. We got more violence in our country than we do political parties. Listen to what I just said.
Let me bring
Read through what I just said.
Let me bring this.
We got more teams of violence than we do political parties.
Let me bring this back because Popper did ask this question, and I can tell that you've
Probably
thought
get you in a sec.
very deeply on a lot of things that are ailing us as Bahamians right now. What would be the first thing a Rick Fox focuses on? What would be the first thing that you lend your voice to, that you say, okay, I got to fix this? All right, this is what I'm fixing.
I want us to fix the way we think about our country and what we should be entitled to and what we should be aspiring towards. I want to break this idea that we have enough, or that enough has been done, or that people are doing enough, and accepting that as the status quo. I want us to all change that. I want us to start to think about ourselves in the light of being one of the best places in the world, if not, I keep saying the best place in the world to live. I think we already are, for those that can afford it.
This is true.
Come on.
There is a
How
divide.
many
We know.
people are here, whether they're off in their private island or
they're
they're
secluded.
behind the gates?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
They are here because
living
it's the
in
best
different
place in the
Bahamas.
world to live. When is it going to be the best place in the world for Bahamians to live?
That's the $1 million question.
Couple of things before we go into the last 10 of the show. So we got to run up tempo. We got to run fast break. All right, to get a couple of these things in. We need to have you back, so we'll coordinate that for the future. But we definitely want to have you back to continue this conversation.
Anytime, Nadi, anytime.
Boom. Now let's get to these phone calls real quick. Talking heads.
Rick Fox.
Make it quick, my brother. What you got for him?
Raymond Darling Ferguson here. I want to tell you that knowing that you're going into politics and you have to start, they're going to let you start from the bottom. With what you wanted to be desired for the Bahamas, it's going to be a problem. So make up your mind. If you really going to stand, okay? And don't stop standing. Bremen Darling Ferguson, thank you.
Don't stop
No
standing.
problem,
Gotcha.
Bremen.
Thanks, Bremen.
Talking heads.
Yeah, good afternoon, Naughty. Good afternoon, MJ.
Hey,
Good
what's up,
afternoon.
Cleaver?
Hey, Cleaver.
To Rick Fox,
Yes.
Laker.
Yes, sir.
You know, but Rick, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I must say you're touching on basically all the grounds, all of the pressing issues that affect the Bahamian people, like crime, healthcare, and all of the other stuff. And I like the narrative that you use. You know, you set us in terms of trying to make us the best little country in the world. Imagine
Not little. Take that little out, man. Take that little out. The best,
The best
country in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine the Minister of Tourism, with all these tourists who comes to the Bahamas. Imagine if he were to embark on a program to make the Bahamas the safest place on planet Earth.
Ooh.
You could imagine that?
Yes,
You know, I
for
always
21
talk
miles
about
long and 7 miles wide, Nassau, where most of the tourists come,
would
unless
love
they're on a
that.
Should
cruise
be the
ship. And
safest place.
it will be the safest place to walk the streets as a tourist, as a visitor, as a local. Yes, I love that idea.
You know, and that's basically what we should be inspiring to be, man. I mean, but, you know, again, Rick, we'll welcome you aboard, and you're touching on many of the issues that scores of voters could resonate with. So thanks a lot again, sir, and thanks for bringing all those championships, you know, to the Lakers.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Cleaver.
Cleaver's a diehard Laker,
Oh,
but like a
man.
big-time Laker,
Can I say
man.
something really quick? He
Yes.
brought up security and safety, and I know. I didn't touch on immigration. I didn't touch on our borders. I didn't touch on policing our waters in our country. Are we noticing what is happening in the Caribbean in the Caribbean seas right now?
Yeah, we
Especially
have
in
watching
Venezuela.
it.
Do we
have seen
see
it.
what has happened? Do you see how many warships?
We've
do you
seen
see what the new rules are turning into?
Yeah, the world is-
When someone is looking to protect their sovereignty,
Their sovereignty.
they are blowing up boats
Yeah.
to protect their sovereignty. Okay, is that the new rules? Is that where it's going? Where to protect your sovereignty, you blow up boats?
We should
right?
hope not.
I don't know, right? But that shows you the level that some people are prepared to go to protect their sovereignty. Okay? Now, we have a lot of people that visit our shores legally and illegally.
Right.
Okay? And all of them should be taxed. Hear me. If you are visiting our shores legally or illegally, the Bahamian people better be benefiting. You need to get taxed. Okay? So, first, if you come illegally, how'd you get here? And be careful, these waters dangerous these days.
Yeah.
Okay? These waters dangerous these days.
But you're getting people fired up,
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
Okay.
I could see the
But
phone
I'm,
lines flip.
I'm
No.
watching.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be out on a boat anywhere in the Caribbean seas right now.
Not right
No.
now.
Not right now,
Let's
right?
get-
And that speaks to our boaters that visit our country. Like it's dangerous times,
And
right?
and because of taxation and different things within the market, we've lost 60% of our yachting industry. I mean, we still have to Peter Murray will
okay,
tell you all day.
But let's talk about the 9 million tourists, or how many tourists come to our shores, right? They come and visit
They're
our. They come and
monopolized
visit
by
our
the cruise
Bahamas,
ship
right?
properties?
Right.
Look, the cruise ships have been great, right? They bring, but are they bringing? I grew up in an era in our country where the cruise ship showed up, the passengers got off the boat
and went to the beach and went to the cabaret and went to restaurants and shopped
They
on Bay
went
Street.
downtown. They went to the cabarets. They stayed a while. The cruise ship shut down at night.
They shut down.
Okay.
Yep.
So I have friends that own cruise.
You forget my
companies,
daddy,
okay?
Captain on MSC.
So you know, they now have islands, and I know a property is going to open up across the way. The Royal, I think it's Royal Norwegian. I think it's Norwegian.
Royal
maybe?
Caribbean.
It's Royal Caribbean,
right?
yep.
And I'm hearing that there are going to be Bahamians that are working out there that have shops out there. You know, let's just make sure that if you are visiting our beautiful sun, sand, and sea, or legally or illegally, we're going to tax you.
Or
You're going to get taxed.
Right, and then you need to pay work permits more than $3 a day for all the
I
foreign
feel
workers.
like we
you
can
off
have
the
a
cruise
really
ships
long
working on islands.
conversation with Rick about
All right.
All right, do you
Let's
want me
get
to
to
do
some
this?
of these
'Cause
texts.
we have
So
a
you
lot of
got-
texts, and I don't want our texters
You
upset.
wanted to know what the people thought about you entering politics in front line and what you had to say here.
Let's listen to some of these texts. This texter says, "This is a great talk show today. As a strong Michael C. Pintard supporter, I would love to see Mr. Rick Fox as a member of parliament in the Bahamas. He has represented the Bahamas spirit greatly. So, Brother Fox, you are welcome. Selah." This other person says, don't forget Kai Jones. Absolutely. We're so sorry, Kai Jones. We
Yeah,
can't
Kai's
forget you.
another
That's
one.
right, Kai Jones. We can't forget the great
We
things
gotta
he's done
get
as
Kai
well.
back
Doing
on
big
track.
things in
He's
Turkey.
in Turkey. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we
in
do.
Turkey. Turkey's a good league. That's a really
Yeah.
good league. He's got a music career too. I've seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
him put
see
some
him
of his
rapping
music
with his
out.
little
Yeah.
red mic. I
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
This texture says, good evening, Naughty MJ and your guest, Rick Fox. He needs to reopen Holiday Ice and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Boy,
Yeah, people
someone-
been
if they
talking
know
about
Holiday
that
Ice,
as well.
They know my
They know your
They
dad,
know.
They know my dad. And shout out to our boy Sawyer Boy for his
Yeah,
his willingness.
I
People wonder
love
where
that.
those videos
Love
are
those
coming
videos.
from.
Yeah, and me-
you started Naughty. You the comedian. You the joker. You're like, look, you paved the way for a lot of people, man.
But you know, let me tell you
paved
something.
the way for a lot of people.
When I was lucky enough to hang out in LA with you and Stacy, and I was around that atmosphere, and I watched y'all be the best and try to be the best at what y'all did, I said, all right, a step short, a step slow, the jump is good, but it ain't gonna be there. But you know what? Go and figure out what you're gonna be the best at. And there was opportunity for me to be one of the best trailblazers at comedy in this country.
Yes.
And in radio. And
Yes.
and obviously, you know, when MJ met me, she inspired me to do even more and,
Yes.
and take it to the next level.
Great team.
But
Great team.
you for real.
Yeah.
Couldn't be
I
anywhere
see it.
today
No, I
without
see
her.
it.
Let me run through
But
these.
you guys were inspirational in your own right. I
Yes.
was like, I could cut my
We
own
talked
path
about-
and
we
I
talked
could
about
chase it.
Did anyone, did you add the party, a swing party on there? Because you know.
We should, right?
Swing.
That's the fourth
I
or
need
fifth
you to,
choice.
I need you to let Antoine. I know you're good with Antoine.
This-
Let Antoine.
I'm good with him. He got my card.
We want to have him on the show though, and see where he wants to go with his
Let's
career.
run-
Talk to him about his party.
Let's
I
run
will.
through these. Our texters and our listeners are going to be upset. They said, well, the current administration doesn't seem to be interested in freedom of information. That's enough for you to go and form your own party, Mr. Fox. This texter says, tell Mr. Fox to keep up the good work. I'm an old Holiday Ice worker. Wow. This party says, new party, Rick Fox is the one. All Bahamians are one Bahamas. Okay. We have another text here. This person says, we don't have the ability to talk about the future as we are very focused on the past, trying to talk about tomorrow and
Yes.
preparation for it, and you will be beaten down as it.
You get stuck in what should have been. You
Yeah.
know, the shouldas or couldas and the
Coulda, woulda,
wouldas.
instead of let's do.
Kill those words from your vocabulary, people.
This person-
Kill them.
this-
That's the greatest way to delay progress.
That's
to
true.
be stuck in what shoulda, what coulda, what
and what
woulda.
didn't happen.
This person says, Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese.
What about him?
Which one?
Yes, they
if
want
you had
to-
to
which one
choose
do you
between
better-
Caitlin
yeah,
Clark or Angel Reese.
Well, I want someone that's going to be on the court. I think
Juju Watkins, then.
Angel, no, she's hurt right now.
She is
but,
out.
but Angel Reese has been on the floor.
Right.
So she's
Caitlin's
playing
been
more.
injured,
Yeah,
so-
Caitlin been. I need you to suit
I
up.
know who that was who texted that, and Ricky just put
That
it all
is
in
the
your face.
person.
Angel all in your face. You're
Angel.
Caitlin Clark fanatic.
This person says, my gracious, what an intellectual young man Rick Fox is. It is my belief that he will be a phenomenal politician. You wanted to hear what Bahamians had to say? Hope you got an airful today because they're
Now
telling you.
I'm asking you
They're
as a
telling you.
longtime friend.
Yes.
Please figure out where you want to go and step into the arena, my brother.
I'm gonna-
You have my support. If you go PLP, I'll get behind you to make that a better party. If you go F&M, I'll get behind you to make that a better party. If you go COI, then I can take you to Sunderland's for a visit.
This person says, good evening, MJ, Naughty, and Pearly. I'm enjoying the show, Mr. Fox. I think the F&M needs you. And finally, this one says, excellent talk show with Brother Rick Fox. Love the conversation today is excellent. And that's from Grand Bahama. So the whole Bahamas is listening.
And
All right.
yes, we will have Rick back on the show. He has committed. We'll work it out. We'll have him back on again and talk more in depth
We
as well with him.
certainly
too.
will.
But I really appreciate you, and I think I'm glad you got here to express yourself, and Bahamians could actually hear from you what you're thinking and what you think about where we need to go and what we're lacking and what we need to do to improve. Sometimes you can spend it all day here beating up your gum. They don't want to listen, but somebody like you walk in the room, they listen. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Naughty. Thank you, Mary Jane, for
Final
having me.
question to you, Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Do you prefer gully wash or sky juice?
I haven't had Sky Juice recently.
So gully wash then. Yeah. Okay.
Gully Wash.
Perfect choice.
You let her
Right
coerce
choice.
you into that, all right?
I did not. The man says gully wash. Leave him alone.
That still don't take
Leave
away
him
from
alone.
the fact that they beat up on your Spurs.
Oh,
3
shut it
Western
up.
Conference finals to go
shut
get where
it
they need to
up.
be.
Why are you reminding me?
And then all of y'all used to put for them Kings. Remember them little soft Kings with all of
And Shaq
Thunderbird
would call them
and
the Queens.
Grabber, the Queens. Yeah, y'all remember them? Y'all wasted all your money
remember.
to half for buying jersey and everything, and the Lakers kill y'all. You want me?
Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Ask
today.
Doug Christie how hard Ricky punched.
And with the thoughts that you're having every 30 seconds, I have a feeling we're going to see you again.
I'm curious. Is Sebastian he's going after a marijuana license?
Is he? Have you heard that?
I didn't hear that, but I hear somebody affiliated in the industry has got the license earmarked already, allegedly.
That's another conversation. All right, we got
Might even be your family.
We got to
You got a similar last name.
We got to get out of here. That's a great question, though. Hopefully, we'll get an answer. You guys have been listening to Talking Heads on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Good night.
Even with her, I don't really need her. That's how you feel, man. It's really how you feel.